Welcome to my 2024 Dallas HYROX vlog. This was my 5th HYROX I've ever competed in, and I'm here to take you along for the ride. First thing you have to do when you arrive on site is to get registered. You get your timing chip and wristband. It's then time to get ready for the race. I like to wear the No Bull runners. They provide great traction on the bottom for the sled push, and they're light enough so they don't feel bulky or heavy when you're running the 8K. If you followed my vlogs in the past, you know that I like to keep it light before a race. So I like to have a banana, a nice calorie-dense fruit with those fast-absorbing sugars, and of course that pre-workout. My pre-workout today was C4. And then just like that, we are off, starting that first 1K. The first of the 8 stations is the ski erg, so you're basically going from a cardio run to a cardio activity. Now there's a lot of different theories out there on what the best way to perform on this station is. I dial that resistance all the way up to 10 with nice, strong, consistent pulls, and I keep the pace at about a 140, 145 minute pace per 500 yards. You can see how I compared to the rest of the field. I was in the top 3% in this event. The next event is a 50-meter sled push, and that sled's 335 pounds. Now, I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here because I am a little guy. I'm only about 165 pounds, so I have to go into this with a strategy, and my strategy was to push it about halfway, take a quick breather, and push it back down. I did that 8 times, and you can see I was just about average here against the field. This is an area that I can greatly increase my ability on and shave some time at my next race. Station 3 is a back-to-back strength exercise. We're going 50-meter sled pulls, and that sled is about 227 pounds. Now, a bit of advice I will give you newbies out there. Notice how I'm pulling and walking back at the same time. You see other people just grab the rope and kind of walk it back. This will increase the rate at which that sled goes down the carpet, and that's going to shave you some time there. You can see against the field, I was in the top 12%. And unlike the sled push, this is one that I can get nice and low with my stature and get some really nice, strong pulls going end to end. Next on the docket, Station 4 is 80 meters of burpee broad jumps. Now, there is some very specific strategy that I want to share with you here. So you do have to hit chest to ground every time. And a bit of advice that I'll say is it doesn't really matter how far you jump. You want to conserve energy here. So if you notice, with every time I pop up, I'm not bringing both feet up like a traditional burpee. I'm going one leg at a time, and I'm alternating what leg comes up first and then bringing both hands up at the same time. I promise you this will conserve you a lot of energy, which you will greatly need towards the end of it, which you can see right here. I am out of gas, but I was able to keep pace with a lot of the guys next to me and stay above average against the field. Next up is another cardio station, which is my specialty. It's 1,000 meters on the row machine. So just like the ski erg, what I like to do is crank that resistance up to 10, keep it at about a 140 to 145 minute pace per 500 meters, and you can see I excel at this station. I was in the top 8% of the field on the day. For anyone doing this for the first time though, I would suggest keeping it nice and steady. It's really easy to hop on that, go really hard out the gates, and if you burn yourself out early on that, you're gonna pay for it. I can promise you that. Being on the other side of the halfway point of the race, I can smell that finish line, but I let my wife know who's filming here. I'm dead. That's what I said right there. Now, station number 6 is a 200-meter farmer's carry with 2 53-pound kettlebells. This one is by far my weakest event of the day. I've never been able to perfect the grip that's required to lock them in. My hands are sweaty at this point, and I unfortunately just have really weak forearms. So I did have to take a couple breaks here, and this event was the only event on the day that I was below average in. You can see here, I dropped the kettlebells. I think this was like my 3rd time I dropped them. Had to shake out those arms, but once I picked them up again, the strategy was just to hit it as hard as you could, get a little shimmy going, run a little faster than I was walking before just to get to that finish line. With 2 more stations to go, that finish line was in sight, and it was time to dig deep and give it all you got. Time for Station 7, 100 meters of sandbag lunges with a 44-pound sandbag on your back. The rule is you have to tap your knee with every step that you take. So my suggestion would be to find a nice, consistent rhythm. Don't worry about the people around you, and just do what you're capable of with a nice, steady pace. Now, having said that, the competitive nature in me saw this guy coming up behind me, so I stopped taking that beat in between and just started really grinding towards the end to finish strong. Now, something I haven't mentioned up until this point that I was doing on every lap is I would run over to the station. I'd either grab a water or a Gatorade. I highly suggest doing this to avoid cramping up and getting dehydrated. And then finally, it was time for the last station of the day, 100 wall balls with a 13-pound medicine ball. That target is 10 feet in the air, and you have to hit it with a full squat on every repetition. Now, something that I would suggest is every time you take a break to check in with the counter behind you, because you want to make sure that you're on the same page and you're not too far ahead or behind of where you actually think you are. And then it's time for the best moment of the day, the sprint to the finish line.
We got a patch, we got water.
I got way too hyped up at the beginning, that's for sure. I was cooking.
Too much C4, maybe?
The video they put, well, yeah. Well, no, there's never such a thing as too much C4.
There might be.
They play a hype video in the beginning.
Oh, in that Red Bull little thing?
When you're in the tunnel,
yeah.
and it just fires you up. So, beginning went out too hard. Great pace on the sled pull. Great pace on that.
What do you think your worst event was?
Worst event was probably, I mean, I suck at the sled push. That I think was, I'll be honest, I haven't pushed a sled probably since the last HYROX.
Yeah.
So, obviously not the best strategy to go into a HYROX not having pushed a sled.
I think you took a different strategy in the farmer's carry, because you would like jog a little bit almost and then stop.
As my forearms started to get more tired.
Yeah.
I just started sprinting.
Yeah.
And that hurts your calves and like your hips, which is weird, you know?
Yeah.
But the sled push, I think, that's the biggest area of opportunity for me to get better, for sure, because I need to do it, first of all. Second of all, I need to do it consistently when I start tuning. I mean, I think the runs were pretty decent. I was cooking on the runs. I passed a lot of people on that. Literally, you're standing there in the tent as you're starting to count down, and you listen to the hype reel, and I'm just kind of, I'm in my own world. I'm like, just psyching myself and getting all psyched up. And then it hit me. I didn't know
how many laps
to do. So with 45 seconds to go in the race, I panicked, and I just hit the guy next to me, and I just go, how do the laps work? And the guy was like, and he just go, the guy literally just went like this, because he was like in the zone too. He just goes, and there's just signs everywhere that said what the laps were. So I'm like, thanks man, good work. That'll do it. HYROX 2024 Dallas. In conclusion, I got the same time as last year, and I came in 9th place. And just to compare that, last year I won my age group, so that just shows you how much this sport is growing. This is an incredible challenge, so challenge yourself, train for this, and find an event near you, because I'm telling you, you get hyped up in that tunnel, they play a pump-up video, and then you're out there. It's a fun event to watch for your friends and family and loved ones to cheer you on, and when you cross that finish line, it is a real sense of accomplishment. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, drop a comment. See you